Hey guys, Purely Awesome Cuber here, and today I'm going to show you how to solve the first two centers on the 4x4 Rubik's Cube using the reduction method. So you already know the notation for the Rubik's Cube 4x4. Now let's get on to the actual first step in solving the cube. So this, I will be teaching you how to solve it in the reduction method. So that is solving all of the centers on all of the sides, right? And then solving all of the edges, like pairing all the edges up, and then just solving it like a 3x3. There are some parity errors that you can encounter, but I'll get to those algorithms later. They're really quite simple. And let's get on to the first step, which is building the first two centers. So the first center is really the easiest. Just pick any side. And I like to start with white because I solve the white cross on 3x3, and it's really easy for me. So I'm going to start with this side, and I see there's one white center, right? You're only looking at these four pieces. Right, these are centers, these are edges, and then these are corners. Just like on 3x3, right? Corner, edge, center. So, the first step, just find a side that has the color you're starting with. So this side has white, right? And then you want to scan the cube for other white centers. So, immediately I see one here. So what you want to do is then turn whichever layer that's on, which it'll always be the middle layer. So I'll turn this middle layer, which is R, lowercase r, and I'll turn that up to put it in here. But as you see now, that pushed this away, and now we're back where we started. So what I want to do instead is move this out of the way by just doing a simple U. So then I can bring this up, right? But now there's also another step to make this easier. Instead of having them diagonal, because then it's a little harder to get your other edges in, what I do instead, bring this back down and do another U. So then when I bring this up, bring this edge up, or center, when I bring this up, then I have made a 2x1 bar, or really just not a bar, but two centers in a row instead of diagonal. And then you want to scan for another center piece that is your same color, which I'm starting with white. So here's another white. So I want to see, oh, it's on the lowercase l slice. So I want to bring that up. But again, it pushed it away. So what I want to do instead is move this over and bring it up. But then it pushed this piece away. So we want to move it over again. So this is all clear, right? And move it up. So now we have three centers done. Now you want to scan the cube for your last center. And oh, I don't see it on any of these four sides, so it could also be on the bottom, which it is here. So if it's in the bottom, to make it easier, what I would do is bring it up to one of these layers, but then you see that knocked this piece out. So then you can move it out of the way of the left slice. See, this is the left slice. So you can just do a simple F. So then this is not in the left slice anymore. So you can bring this piece back down without messing up this and without messing up this. And now what we have is this piece and these three pieces that need to go together. So this is actually very simple. What you want to do is see whichever corner this is in, right, the center. So there's this, 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 and this. So the center is in this position, which is the top right position, I'll call it. And what you want to do is make sure your three pieces up here, if you see how they kind of form an arrow, right? So that would be the point of the arrow. What you want to do is make sure the point of the arrow is in the same position as the center you're inserting. So that's the top right, and that's the top right. We're all good. So then what you want to do is bring up whichever slice you have it in, which in this case, this is the R, the lowercase r slice. So I'd want to bring that up, and then, but it knocked these two out, right? So if I bring them down, it'll knock this out. So what I want to do is bring it up, but then move this piece out of the way of the right slice. So a simple U prime would move this from there to there, so then the right slice is all clear for me to bring this back down and solve the entire center. So that is the first center. If that's confusing, I'm sorry. I try and make it as simple as possible. Now we're going to move on to the second center. So you always want to make sure that the second center is opposite of the center you started with. So here's my first center. I'm going to build my second center here. And you also want to make sure you know your color scheme very well on your cube. So I know white is opposite of yellow, so the yellow center has to be here. When it's solved, yellow cannot be here because there are no white and yellow edges. That just wouldn't be solved. So white and yellow has to be opposite of white. So now you want to see if there's any, in my case, yellow pieces on the top, which in the center there are no yellow stickers. So you want to scan the cube for the rest of the yellow stickers. Oh, here's one. And here are 3. So now, instead of looking at it as 3, like I have 3, you want to look at it as just one piece. So see, here's this, and you want to put it in the top layer, right? So it's in the R slice, the lowercase r slice, so you can just move that up, and it's in the top. But then you see, oh no, I've messed up my first center, right? So in order to do this, it's kind of the same as building the first center. See, now if you bring this back down to fix this, then you've gotten nowhere. So what you want to do, you want to bring this up, but then see, if you bring the R slice back down to fix this, it will mess it up. So if you do a simple U prime to move this from here to here, then this piece will no longer be in the R slice, it will be in the L slice. So then when you bring down the R slice, this part, it won't affect this piece. So now this is successfully in the top with this center not messed up. Now what you want to do, right, I do have a bar here, so that's good. So if I bring this up, it does 2 things. First of all, it messes up the white, and second of all, it pushes this out. Right, so it's in the R slice, I bring it up, but it pushes that out, messes this up. So what you want to do, move it away, right? But then when you bring this down, you have the bar, but then this piece is not up there. So you want to move it over again until both pieces are out of the L slice, the lowercase L slice. So then when you bring that back down to fix this and push this back up, it does not affect either one of those pieces. So now we have the arrow again, right? So this is the same as what we did on the white center for the last center, sorry. So we have the arrow, right? And the last center. So this is in the bottom right. And then we see our arrow, we want it pointing this way, because this is the bottom right center, right? So this is in the correct position. If it was like this, we'd have to do a U2 to get this arrow pointing to the bottom right center. So now what you want to do is bring up the R slice, right? The lowercase r slice. So then you make this bar. But then again, it messes up this and pushes this out. So just like we did down there, you want to move this out of the R slice. So then when you fix this and this piece does not get affected. So if you just bring that down, then the yellow center is solved and the white center is solved. You can watch that however many times you want. I'm sorry if it was a little confusing, but that is how you solve the first 2 centers on the 4x4 Rubik's Cube. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.